This game is insane. Katana Zero, a game about Zero and his katana. The game opens with him dropping two guys and doing a little parkour for us. Checking their bodies, we find a key and our first achievement. We are going to need a total of 22 achievements, with the last one being the hardest achievement I have ever gotten. For our next achievement, don't hang up. Don't hang up, more like do hang up. This first level is our tutorial, where we learn like every game we can roll, attack, jump, and slow down time. Every level is broken up into stages, where our goal is to get rid of every enemy, allowing us to move on. But not without petting this cat 5 times for our third achievement. Reaching the end of level 1, we find this scientist dude who we need to protect. Oh my gosh. With the tutorial out of the way, we head home and get a good night's rest. The next morning, we meet the psychiatrist. This was also the guy we talked to on the phone for our second achievement. Every encounter we have with him, we must be rude for a much later achievement. After talking with us, he gives us our medicine and our next mission's info. Once in level 2, we stop by the receptionist and make sure to tell her we are doing cosplay. This unlocks a dialogue option with her required in one of the final chapters. We get our next achievement, Master Key, by finding the Master Key, located at the end of chapter 2 on this guy. We try again, this time carefully stopping him and checking his body. Following his example, we jump off for another achievement. On the way home, we meet a little girl who says our house is a dump and skips away. We get another great night's sleep, then back to the psychiatrist to be rude, get our shot, and our next target, Electrohead, who no matter what, we are not supposed to talk to. But for our next achievement, refuse medication, we have to have some words with Electrohead. As we make our way through chapter 3, we are once again warned to not talk to him. So we talk to him. He tells us about the medication we are being given, but that's a big no-no. Returning home, we see the little girl again. She wants to go in our room to look for her toy. When we find it for her, she lets us keep it. As always, we get a great night's sleep, but when we arrive back at the psychiatrist is when everything starts to change. Since we spoke to Electrohead, we are able to refuse our medication, giving us an achievement and a foreshadowing message of "this will go well." For our next achievement, Prototype Key, we need to kill everyone in the next chapter, which is what we always do, I know, but in this mission we are given the option to leave without killing. This depends on if you refuse the medicine or not, and since we did not take our meds, we kill. Fulfilling this spawns a briefcase back at the apartments for the achievement. This is our third of 5 keys required for a later achievement and 5 secret weapons. Talking with the little girl, she gives us a videotape that a stranger gave her. On the tape, we see someone politely asking our neighbors to move out. And after seeing that, of course we're gonna have some nightmares. Our psychiatrist is closed for the day, so we catch an Uber and find none other than this guy. For our next achievement, Party Animal, we need to allow him to borrow our sword. I mean, come on, what's the worst that could happen? At the beginning of the next level, we find our sword and achievement. We get our next achievement beatdown at the end of level 5. But we have 2 other achievements to get here first. One for sparing this cardboard cutout, and then another for cutting this one. Yeah, they weren't very cool. At the end of level 5, we enter our first boss fight, where we of course win for our achievement. Tonight is Halloween, and the little girl stops by dressed like us, so we give her the classic Halloween treat of a fish head. While sleeping, we begin to have a super realistic nightmare that even continues when we wake up. Teleporting from place to place, having crazy stuff happen, and eventually we are able to snap out of it by getting our shot. Our next achievement, Phoenix Key, is found in level 6, where we need to make our way through the level until we find this guy, and patiently wait for him to leave to grab our 4th key. At the end of the level, we get captured and interrogated, where we are asked everything we know about the drug, but we don't say anything. We instead break out, sleep everyone, and have an epic motorcycle chase. At the end of the chase, we meet another important character for the first time, Dragon. Back at the office, we start tripping again and get our shot to snap us out of it. We then start our next mission by busting into a random room to find some guy with Dragon. After the fight, we are able to grab the prison security tapes. Our next achievement, The End, is found at the end of level 7.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
When we become surrounded, the masked men from our nightmare show up, asking if we would like to live or die. Choosing to die, we finish the game and get our achievement. But, as you have already guessed, it's not really over. We are put back in and we choose to live. Back at home, the little girl asks to watch some movies. After she falls asleep, we watch the prison security tape we found earlier. Our next achievement, the Dragon's Tape, is gotten at the end of level 8. By watching this tape, we are able to play as Dragon, who has an awesome dash ability as well as everything else we normally have. So he's just a better Zero. But using him was one of my favorite levels. For our next achievement, Savant Key, we need to make our way through level 9, avoiding every single camera. If we run into a single one, we have to do all this extra stuff and cannot get the achievement. But after a few tries, we make our way through to grab the key. This is our 5th and final key, giving us the Secret Hunter achievement for finding all keys. Back at home, we take the little girl up to look at the city. She tells us that she is scared, so we promise to always protect her. And for the first night, we have no nightmares. Heading into the 10th level, we see the receptionist from level 2. Since we told her we were doing cosplay, that gives us the option here to choose show her our trap card. This gives us the achievement, I ain't reading all that. Our next achievement, Funny Prank, is gotten by blowing ourselves up with a Molotov in an elevator, which is pretty self-explanatory on how we did that. Making it to the end of the level, we meet someone who was also going for that achievement. After a quick little trip, we jump down the elevator into level 12, our final level. And for the first time in this game, we get to use a gun. And of course, he just throws it. We then stumble into the guy who was with Dragon earlier for a boss fight. After we win, we take his key card and we are able to open the vault to find a family. Within the vault, things start to get a little bit crazy. We are only given one option here, but no matter what, we are not able to do it. And eventually, we just leave. Back at the office, we find the psychiatrist furious. We have been going rogue, not taking medicine, and not completing our missions, so he finally has had enough. He pumps himself full of shots for a secret final boss fight, where I sit and I dodge these hands for about 5 minutes until I finally figured out you were supposed to hit them. As the fight progresses, he continues to evolve, making everything crazier and crazier. And eventually, we wake up. Oh my gosh. Checking him, we find a key card, and on his desk, we find the next target was us. Arriving back home, we see the little girl's house is boarded up, and we discover that her dad has been killed. As we look around for her, she is nowhere to be found. We ask the police, and they say no kids have ever lived here or even been in this district. They want to take us in for questioning, but we escape. We are put into our nightmare scene, except this time we learn that this is no nightmare, this is our past. The toy we found wasn't the little girl's, it was ours. And the little boy in the nightmares wasn't us. We were the monster the whole time. Honestly, that story was way better than I was expecting. And I'm kind of salty because he did know how to use a gun. I mean, we just saw it right there. So I don't know why he was always throwing them. Now with all the story out of the way, we get to the hard part. For our final 2 achievements, we need to complete hard mode and get a gold medal in speedrun mode. Before that though, we use the key card found on the psychiatrist's body to open the lab. Here we can use the 5 keys we found to get 5 secret weapons, each one containing a cool special ability. But after all this time, I feel I'm the most comfortable using the classic katana. For the achievement hard mode, we need to complete the whole game again, but in hard mode. Hard mode makes the game harder, duh. It does this by adding tons of enemies everywhere, gets rid of helpful items, and adds a few new enemies. One that can be super annoying. Every single enemy in the game can be dodged through, except for this one. If you try to dodge through, he'll knock you down and instantly kill you. This enemy was by far the worst part of hard mode, but after about 3 hours, we finally complete it. Hard mode? For our final achievement, gold medal, we need to get a gold medal in speedrun mode. Speedrun mode is broken down into 11 levels, each rewarding you a medal based on your time for that level. At the end of the run, all your medals are averaged out for your final medal. This is the one that counts. So going off of the time alone, we would need a sub 30-minute run for a gold medal, meaning for our final achievement, we have to become a top speedrunner of Katana Zero. So that's exactly what I set out to do. I watched speedruns. I learned the optimal routes. I learned the best strategies. I practiced sections. I grinded non-stop, eventually going from bronze to silver, and then finally, after 8 hours, the run happened. We were blazing through. Not just doing good, we were doing amazing. I was setting new PRs on every single level from the beginning. And with a time of 27:29, we have become the 565th fastest Katana Zero player in the world and gotten our final achievement, officially completing Katana Zero. Yes, gold medal. Achieve a total rank of gold or higher in a full speed run. We're done with Katana Zero. It was a good game.